We've been taught right from our childhood that a healthy mind and then a healthy body. That is what is required. Without that, there is no perfect growth for an individual. So the body, and then things like yoga and exercise, all these things are focused towards a healthy body. We need to have a healthy body. Of course, healthy mind should come and complement. That's where the meditation, it brings in so much of focus in us, calmness. There is clarity. You will experience it.
Previously, I used to have a sore throat. Even I went to a specialist also, it doesn't cure. I need to go to visit clinic to get the antibiotic monthly. Then after the meditation for 3 months, then I have a fever. After that time, until now, I became healthy.
February, I was diagnosed with diabetes. My sugar level was around 300. Then I started meditation continuously every day in the morning and walking. And within 6 to 7 months, it came to normal.
I had a kidney stone. Whenever I feel, the pain or something in my kidney stone, what happens is, when I used to get into that anxiety levels, wherein the fear kind of stuff. In a month of 30 days, the 15 days I used to have that, I will used to feel the pain. So that next 15 days, I will feel my energy level high. So this was the cycle actually continuously, and I don't see that anything that even if I get some pain, I just get the awareness, but that's it. It doesn't affect my my next action or anything.
Namaste, very good morning, evening, dear friends and masters. Welcome to the program Star. Today we have a special guest. I'm happy to introduce Lawrence Gilhart Jolie, co-founder of Buddha CEO Quantum Foundation, former senior general manager and mindfulness sponsor, IBM Corporation. Lawrence is an experienced senior general manager who successfully managed multiple large global organizations in the information technology sector. She lived in France, Singapore, and the United States. Based in New York until recently, Lawrence was general manager at IBM Services, as well as corporate sponsor of mindfulness at IBM. After introducing and teaching meditation to thousands of leaders and professionals, she decided to settle in France and devote her time to teaching meditation and mindfulness in the corporate and academic world, as well as to engage in other meditation initiatives. She is also a wife and mother of 2 boys and is committed to supporting people with disabilities. She will be conducting the entire program. It's a privilege to have her with us. We welcome you.
Thank you so much, my friend Namita, for this nice introduction, and welcome to this day, Saturday, wherever you are in the world. So morning, afternoon, evening. Here I am in France, so it's the middle of the night, and it's a very warm night, which is quite unusual in this part of France. I am in the west of France, just near the sea. So today, what I would like to talk about, I was thinking many of you have probably followed already this 40 days program. But talking to my co-founder, Chandra, he said that we have a lot of new participants, and that's just amazing to have new people, meditation beginners, or meditators who are in their journey. And he told me, maybe they don't know you, and it would be good to talk about you. and also to expand on a topic that is very dear to my heart. So that's what I'm going to do today. Spend a few minutes to get you to know me a little more and me to know you and get introduced to you a little bit more. We will do a meditation. And then after that, we will talk about a very special topic after this health week, which is starting point as how do we transform ourselves vis-a-vis nature, vis-a-vis how we can learn from nature, get the wisdom of nature. And it's absolutely fundamental to create our healthy state of being. So we talk about that, and it's going to cover multiple topics. It's also sharing with you my personal journey. After many, many, many years being in an office in information technologies, world, and having only in a way scratched the surface of nature and the challenges and the transformations that we have to do on ourselves, to also make sure we can protect the world, but also what we can learn, each of us, from nature. And we can learn a lot. So to start with my own story, I was the last 20 years in the US, but I started my career in France. I am French and US citizen, both of them. But I was raised in France in a Catholic family, and I had never heard about anything like meditation. Nobody was talking about meditation. The only time I heard about it was, to see people, like yogi in the Himalayas and so on. And I was thinking, what are these people really doing? Meditation is pretty much doing nothing. They should better be working at something useful. So that was the place I was coming from about meditation. And then luckily, I was working on an acquisition in India. It was in 2016. It was a very complex and long process for IBM to acquire a company that was based in Bangalore. And during that time, I met Chandra. He was the CEO of that company, and that's how we met. So we came from different place, different culture, different backgrounds, and we had to find a way to decide if we wanted to work together, and if he wanted his company to be acquired by my organization in IBM, and vice versa. So it was an interesting context. And during the process, one weekend before we were doing some due diligence on site in Bangalore, he took me to the Pyramid Valley International. And for me, it was a life transformation event. I was very surprised by everything. It was another world for me. I was most of it at the beginning trying to just be polite with Chandra, who was a potential business partner for me, and even maybe somebody I would acquire in our company. So I was in that different world, but with a very open mind, ready to learn. And I started to meditate 20 minutes. It was in a huge pyramid. I felt I was in a science fiction movie. I had no idea what was happening. But for the first time in my life, I was asked to sit, close the eyes, and do nothing. Nothing. So it was very, very strange. I was just asked to just close the eyes and do the activity of just observing my breath and being. I had a workaholic, habit. I was working like crazy, always on the move, quite competitive, actually very competitive. I had duties, a very large team, a global team around the world, traveling all the time. I had never been doing nothing, in a sense. And actually, I felt very, very good. Because it was a kind of new activity for me, I was very consciously observing my breath. And after 20 minutes, I think I kind of woke up a different person. I was still feeling in a science fiction movie, but it was a very good feeling. And when we came to the cafeteria, and I discovered a lot of people that were from the information system also planet, they were there. It was a Sunday. I was like, what are these people doing here? They were business leaders, and they were very open to exchange with me and share their own experience of meditation. So coming back to the hotel, I started to search. And, I actually discovered mindfulness, and I discovered meditation, and I discovered so many people and so many very famous leaders were doing it. Very, very famous athletes, Olympics athletes, and also, actors and public leaders, and of course, a lot of CEOs, were practicing. And not only practicing, but they were influencing their own team or their own employees or their own managers to embrace the practice of mindfulness and meditation. And that's how my journey started. And I took advantage, of course, being close to Chandra. We finally started to work together, and I learned from him, as well as he learned corporate a little bit more from me. But it was extremely positive and win-win, very fulfilling situation. And super fast, super fast. It really resolved my sleeping pattern. I could sleep on demand. I need less sleep, which was marvelous for me. I needed about 2 hours less by night, but I could also spend 2-3 nights in a row with barely sleeping, which was useful for this acquisition period. And so I felt very energetic, even if I wasn't sleeping, less. I was eating less. I felt joyful. And over time, as I learned about, manifestation pretty fast, I started to concentrate also on trying to get better on my health, because I had extremely painful back problem, low back problem. I could barely stand more than 10 minutes, which was not very practical for traveling and, having your suitcase, but also standing during meetings and so on. And after, 3 weeks, I started to feel better. And after a month, my back was nearly back to normal. I knew where I was weak, but I knew about my body. That's the benefit of meditation and mindfulness. I started to listen to my body, anticipate the very small move that could be harmful. So I started again to feel good and walk like 10 kilometers with no problem. I changed my eating habits. I became a vegetarian nearly overnight. I came back home in the US and told my family, I am going to be a vegetarian. No fish, no meat, no egg. So they were all completely surprised, but very supportive. And I started that way. And it came overnight, which proves that we can change the way we are and our habit overnight. It's reminding me, for those who still have doubt about, no, it's not possible, especially, French, it's all about meat and fish, basically. US is a little bit more about only meat, but you can change. It's like when you are a woman and you learn that you are pregnant, even if you are, in some part of the world is the case, a smoker, and you smoke, people are able to stop smoking overnight. Suddenly they realize, deeply that it's what they have to do, that it's good for them. For me, on vegetarianism, it happened this way. So the more I was going on, the more I was feeling well. I lost the fear of death. I started to see a little more of the big picture. Everything that you're gonna be learning about during these 6 weeks, I enjoyed learning from it, and it went deep, and it never came back. I never went back. It was there. It was the new me that I was discovering. Actually, I was discovering me, not a new me, but I was really, inside. So the guilt, the stop blaming, all of this disappear. But even the fear of death. So it was like freedom. I was more present, of course, with my family, present to the moment. My attention was there when I was somewhere or with somebody, full attention, which is the best gift that you can give to someone. So it was different. I started to realize I was multitasking all the time. I would be even faking to listen to someone, but I was thinking about something else. So I took the courage to tell myself that I was doing all of this. I was taking notes. I was reading a ton of books. At that time, Buddhasio didn't exist, but I was following the teaching of the PSSM organization. So I took note about all the habits I discovered I had, including being with someone, looking in the eyes of someone, but being somewhere else. And this someone could be, my husband or my kids, or it could be a colleague that I was talking to in the office or during a feedback meeting and so on. So this I realized, and by reading, I understood that when you multitask, you are 50 to 80% less productive. So all of this changed step by step my habits, my unconscious bias, everything that was me. I could go deep and question again and again and again. It's a journey. I'm certainly absolutely not perfect, but it's a journey, and it's a joyful and fun journey because it's fascinating. And you start to question everything you have learned in the past, everything you have been told, you have been conditioned to. One day after about a year, Chandra told me, for instance, okay, now Laurence, what do you think about medication? Try to stop all the medication, especially that, in the US, we are used to take all the time for any headache, for a cold, for a small pain in a knee and so on. And for me, again, culturally, it was a shock. But, I decided to do it, and I stopped every medication I was taking for, small things. And, I luckily didn't have to do anything for big things because I was feeling healthy and I was energetic. But in my brain, in my unconscious, the fact that medication is needed disappeared. And I'm not saying that, if there is a very difficult disease, it's not taking medication, I would do what is needed. But all the small things, like, oh, I have a little headache, let's take a medication for my little headache. Or for instance, I was taking pills to sleep when I was traveling across the zone. So again, we need to listen to ourselves and do what is needed. But in my case, I didn't have to make any special choice up to now, because my health really improved greatly. And then the mind with all of this is changing, and you start to identify by being mindful. When you have this negative emotion, these negative thoughts, I could identify them. I could work on stopping them. And that's probably what explained this joyfulness that was pretty much there. I also reprioritize things I was doing by routine, like in autopilot. Sometimes people I was seeing, even if I deep inside knew, that in a sense I was bored. But so I review all my agenda and activities. I stopped reading newspaper, which was taking me like, maybe 4 hours, 5 hours during the weekend. And instead, reading wisdom book, spiritual book, scientific book, and spending more time with my family. And I didn't miss it because I was learning the big news by other people. I always was aware, and I could also spend more time on reading things for my own business. So all of this changed over time, and it felt so good that pretty fast, after 3-4 months, I started to have discussion, with meditators, especially in India. I was going in India a lot, and with Shreyans and other meditator, with Patriji, and I decided it was time to share this knowledge with my team and with my colleagues, and of course with my peers, because in the IT industry, like, in many organizations and sectors, people were working very hard. It was very stressful. You have to deliver the results. In the IT organization I was leading, we were making sure, all the systems of our clients were working well. And if there was an outage or a problem or a storm and so on, we would be there to help them repair. So it was stressful. And I decided to do it. And, I was trusting at that time that the universe would help me. And actually it did. I could meet few people in IBM that were actually meditating and that were also willing to spread that knowledge. We had a community that we developed around mindfulness, and I decided to become a sponsor, and step by step went up to the top of the organization and could deliver a lot of programs across the company. I also decided that every day in my life, every day, no matter what, I would talk about mindfulness and meditation to at least one person. And sometimes it was a stranger, sometimes it could be a visitor at home, it could be a family member, it could be somebody sitting near me in a plane, but I would do that, planting the seed, because that's what transformed my life. And everybody can do that. I knew there was something that I could do to help someone, discover mindfulness and meditation, and probably, hopefully, help them to get on this journey, or at least plant the seed that might be growing up, in a few weeks or in a few months from that time, and help them to move in their life, more happily. And that's what I'm still doing. And it's very fun, actually, because sometimes you really have, the end of the day is coming, and you really have to find a way to share your knowledge with someone with a real attention, and help, this person maybe open the eyes on new things. So that's my story. I also had big personal changes, in my family. I mean, my 2 kids, my 2 boys and my husband were very supportive, but one of my boys, my younger son, is handicapped very heavily. And until that time, before I started to meditate, I was, just feeling the pain and the guilt all the time, trying to make him have a good life, but having deep inside this, and it's a suffering that you bear, doing your best, working hard to provide, but still having this kind of guilt. How could I do that? I felt responsible. And a switch happened over time by reading, by meditating, by sharing experiences with other meditators. And now clearly I see my son as my master, my teacher in life. And the logistic and the complication are still there, but they are materialistic. The key is that you change your way, you see people, you look at life, and that's how you can give more. And I started feeling that, yes, I was doing service to others, and I was learning from that. And it was helping me, to become a better person. So it can go very deep. Okay, so after this the meditation, I will go further on, how also we can open our eyes to things around us, and how nature can help us also become a better person, and then how we then want to protect nature even more and do our own research and then take steps to contribute to changing, the way the world is running today, and to help our planet to sustain. Of course, also protecting the animal kingdom. So with this, I'm gonna guide the meditation today. And I think you are at the end of the first week. So I'm going to ask you, second week, sorry. So yes, you have been used to the practice of breath mindfulness meditation and heart elevation. I will do a little tweak in the beginning of the meditation by starting by a very short body scan before we go to heart elevation, and then we will go into the breath mindfulness meditation. So now I'm going to ask you, dear friends, to sit very comfortably, the best you can, on the floor, on a chair, on the sofa. You take back support if you have back pain or if you need it. Really, 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 the objective is that your body is comfortable and will not distract you during the meditation. Then you can put your fingers into fingers like that. So you create a loop of energy inside your body. And if that's comfortable for your knees, you also can cross your legs at the ankle, again, to create that loop of energy inside yourself. You will close the eyes and just focus all your attention to your breath. I'm going to share the music, and Namita, you will tell me if the voice and the music will be well balanced. Okay, dear friends. Sit comfortably. Is that okay, Namita? The voice and the music you can hear?
Music is not coming. Your voice is fine. Music is...
Okay, let me just correct that right away.
You have not shared. Yeah. Yes.
Is it okay?
Yeah, fine.
All right, perfect. Okay, dear friends. So close your eyes, remove your specs, sit comfortably. Take a long, slow, relaxing breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Now tell your mind to focus on your feet, grounded on the floor. Try to visualize them, to feel them. From the heel to the toes. Then move your attention up to your knees. Then to your legs, the right leg, the left leg. Try to relax both, and you can kindly thank them for carrying you all day long. Then focus on your spine. Visualize your lower back. And slowly move your attention up to your shoulders. And relax your shoulders. Just focus your attention to the shoulders. Relax once, twice, feeling like a mountain. Keep breathing. Then move slowly your attention to your head and to your face. 40 muscles there that you want to be mindful of. Relax your forehead, your eyeballs, your cheeks, the jaw, relax the jaw. Relax the tongue in the mouth. Close the mouth and breathe through your nose. Then relax your hands. And now, move your attention to your chest area. Go inside. You are inside your chest, listening to your heart.